What is going on, folks? I am Goat, and welcome back to Warframe. Bit of a special here. Excuse me, I got the sniffles. And apparently the sneezes too. Shit. Sorry about that. Hi. So, I have seen so much uproar and just hubbub in the forums and creators and everything else. Everybody talking about a few interesting key points here. And honestly, I actually took notes for once because honestly, I kind of needed to for all the shit I've been reading. Holy God. Oh, excuse me. So, the big thing is that I keep seeing over and over and over and over again is two basic, well, 3 points. Point number one is Warframe dying/dead. You'd figure that wouldn't be a question given the quest that just released. But it is. Question number two. Why are the developers not listening to players? Get into that one. Excuse me. And question number three. Where the hell is this game going? So we're going to cover all these. Not necessarily in that order, but is it dying? Well, a big point of it is it dying is that there are some people that are very, very, very frustrated with the way that the quest went as far as some of the shit that it tied off. Okay? And then, like, it tied off Teshin, so we think. Just gonna be obvious about that one. So we think, we don't really know. But yeah, so it seemingly tied off Teshin, right? That's what we're thinking at this point. Wow, that was a bit of lag. It seemingly tied off Teshin. It tied off Ballas. It tied off the Orican Empire, the basis of the Orican Empire, because Ballas was the last. As far as the actual true members of the High Council of the Orican Empire, Ballas was the last. Like, the last remaining Orican that we know of now are the Entrati. And even they're kind of fucked up, for a lack of a better way to put it. So it tied off a few things, but it left a whole lot of questions. A fuck ton of questions. The man in the wall. The drifter. Excuse me. And so on. Is Teshin actually dead? But if Teshin isn't actually dead, then is Ballas actually dead? Is the Orican Empire still existing? The multiverse complex, the time travel, you know, the eternalism argument. Yeah, talked about by Mother of the Entrati in the flashback sequence when we were all taking our little multiple choice test on temporal axioms. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions, right? Also some not quite seen initially kinds of things that really kind of caught me off guard when I went back viewing my own videos, because I usually do that just to make sure if there's any major hiccups I need to edit. So it is what it is. 2 playthroughs of the quest, and I didn't catch it until I was watching back on the baby account video. Now this is literally chopped up across a 3-day time period, okay? Just so everybody's aware, so if they see any choppy, splotchy spots, this video has literally been chopped up across 3 days because I've been fucking about with one particular scene at the very end of the New War quest. But this is where we're going with it. So first of all, is it dying? No, I don't think it's dying. I do think that seasoned players are in a serious lull right now in regards to the game. Now, I think that there are honestly 4 generations of players for Warframe at this point. There are founding players, which I consider to be the first couple of years. So late 2012 until late 2014. And then second generation players are basically late 2014 to late 2016, right? And so on and so forth. Third generation, late 2016, all the way through 2019, because that's really when a lot of teasers hit, but then nothing happened after that. And then late 2019 to present is fourth generation. Now, that's the generation that I'm in. I would consider myself a seasoned player in the fourth generation of players. But the previous 3 generations of players are very frustrated with a lot of things. Some are very happy, some are pissed off. I am not going to sit here as a newer player, even though I consider myself to be a seasoned player, I'm still a seasoned newer player. I'm not going to sit here and downplay the frustrations of more seasoned players, players that have been playing this game longer than I have, that have had this game downloaded and been grinding this game out through its poor content, its good content, and its better content, and repeatedly smacking into fucking walls along the way, waiting for more content to release. I would dare presume to downplay that particular problem, because that is a frustration. It's a massive frustration. And it's a frustration that I'm just now almost at the point of hitting. We'll cover that right fucking now. So, my play statistics at this point, I'm 11,998 excuse me, Mastery XP away from hitting Legendary 2. The only people that have the proper Mastery rank, as I listed before, are Founders, because they're the only ones that have enough shit. But as far as I'm still aware, the Legendary 2 test is not available. We already know what it's going to be. It's going to be the secondary test, just like the primary test for Legendary 1, just way tankier. Shouldn't be a big deal. Hopefully. Been wrong before. Now, where I'm at in the game is I have 662 of 663 items in this game mastered. Does that mean I own them all? Fuck no. Hell no. I ain't got that kind of inventory space. Come on. The only thing I'm missing is the Sigma Noctanus. I don't know what that was. I have everything else but the Sigma Noctanus, and I'm literally exactly 100 logins away from having that. So 100 days away, and I will have the final item. But in that time, will they release another Prime? Possibly. Or near to that. Could there be more content released? We don't know. That's fine. My stats in the game at this point are 1,573 hours of mission play. So that's where we're at, right? I mean, like, as far as gameplay goes, I consider myself to be a seasoned 4th generation newer player. So now that the credentials are on the floor and on the ground, yes, I have ground the shit out of this game in a 21-month time frame. Almost 22 months. Some have done more, some have done less. It is what it is. Everybody has their own level of playing. The hiccup is this, is that we've got full-time players that have hit the wall hard. We've got part-time players that have come and gone and come and gone and come and gone to where the content still seems semi-fresh but confusing. And then we have newer players that have a very fluid experience. And what I mean with that is that the last 2 generations, really the last generation of Warframe players, more than anybody, the newest players have the most fluid scenario. But depending on how much time you put in the game, the last 2 generations, so basically from like 2016 upwards of 2021, may have had a more fluid situation, but really truthfully more the 2019 to 2021 have had the most fluid situation. Now, me personally, I started playing March 4th of 2020. So my whole scenario has been fluid as hell. I'm missing 1 item to be mastered, which is a melee, and then I'm missing some mods. That's literally the only thing I have left in this game to get. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But I empathize. I empathize with the frustrations of, oh my god, this content takes entirely too long and then is semi-disappointing. Because we get good frame, bad frame as far as the quests are concerned, or we get buggy warframes, or we get buggy quests, or we get buggy this, buggy that, buggy this, buggy that. Guys, this is a free-to-play platform. Okay, first and foremost, they make money off of people spending money with them. The game itself is free. To get platinum is not. To buy into the Prime system is not. If you don't want to farm the Prime stuff, which I've farmed almost all of it, there are literally 6 Prime Warframes that I did not farm. 6. It was Nova, Trinity, which was 1 pack, Ember, and Frost was another. I got Hydroid and a drop, and then I bought Haro Prime. All the rest I farmed. I'm not above farming in this game at all. That's part of the game. You run out of shit to do if you don't. But even me as a newer player, I'm about to hit that wall. Once I farmed up all the mods, which will take time, but once I farmed up all the mods, where do I go from here? Other than wait, right? Hurry up and wait game. So I empathize. And I'm just now hitting it, but there are other players that I've spoken to via chats, in Discord, you know, emails. There are players that are frustrated, and for good reason. But does that mean that Digital Extremes doesn't like you, or doesn't like the fact that you have complaints? No. They are a business after all, and they have to make their business decisions. I think that they're a little off base at times on how they're releasing content. And part of that is this, okay? Part of that is that they don't really explain that they're doing storytelling when they release shit. Sometimes it just hits. That was the most unfortunate looking ghetto slide ever. Since I started playing the Wave Rider, Deadlock Protocol, Art of Deimos, and the Call of Tempestari have released. Rising Tide released a couple of months before I started playing, which is Railjack. And then obviously the New War, but all of that released prior to the New War releasing, when it was said that the New War was going to release before, and didn't. People have been waiting, what, 2-3 years for the New War to release, and in that amount of time, there's been other quests. But just since I started playing, we got the Wave Rider, which was literally just more of a Warframe quest that you can get out of your dojo, which is Ureli. She's not very good. Some people love her, some people hate her, and that's really where Ureli sits, is that she's either a love or a hate. The Deadlock Protocol was a story made up to release multiple things. The Granum Void, based around Parvos Granum. Protea was the Warframe written up and designed to be Parvos Granum's Spectre, basically. A little bit more of a deepened story to the corpus as to what the fuck they were, instead of just being some mindless robo guys roaming around everywhere. A really good story behind it, truthfully, in my opinion. But it was really all done to cover the fact that they were just redoing the corpus ship tile sets. I'm okay with it. And I think it's a good quest too, by the way. The Heart of Deimos. A shit ton of backstory. A shit ton of backstory. The Entrati family in itself, huge, deepened roots inside of the main quest story. But you also get introduced to Necromechs. Yep, you also get introduced to Zaku and Lavos. And all of the, 4 kit gun possibilities from Father, plus like 4 or 5 weapons from Father alone. Plus you get Vulpaphilas. You get Predicites. Yeah, I mean, you get all sorts of shit. You can get a K-Drive here. It opens up an entirely new free roam map. That's huge. Huge. Call of Tempestari. Literally a cover-up fix for the Lich system to make it more playable. Also including Railjack into the Kuva Lich system, and introducing Corpus Liches, also known as the Sisters of Parvos. And a nice little handy little jingle that you get, sleeping in the cold below. So it is what it is. And then finally, the New War. So all this other shit got released without them saying, hey, this is all stuff building to the New War. This is just, hey, we're going to get a new quest and a new Warframe. Like, it almost seems like a buy-off. And that's how some people are taking it. Some people are in love with it. Personally, in my personal experience as being a new, more fluid, situational player, I found this, I love the quest. I love the basis of what the quest is, because there's plot holes, man. Big, big, big fucking plot holes. And that's been a complaint. Plot holes. Questions. Where the hell does this go now? In some ways, they've already answered a little bit of it. Okay? They really have. I didn't realize until 4 or 5 months ago when Brack, sorry about that, showed me the Duveri Paradox trailer from 2019. TennoCon 2019. And there's some telling shit with that. So we're going to honestly get into that here in just a moment. So I'm going to close my camera. Excuse me, my nose itches, my God. I'm going to mute my mic and we're going to play this, okay? So for anybody who hasn't seen this, many maybe probably have, but for anybody who hasn't seen this, this was released, as you see up top, the Duveri Paradox from Warframe. This is a trailer released TennoCon 2019. So here we go. Now, why is this significant, right? Why is the Duviri paradox significant? Well, it's honestly... Get rid of this and get rid of that. Sorry. It's honestly because of this, right? This is directly from my baby account playthrough. You're gonna hear me talk. What the fuck? Does that mask look familiar to you? It's the mask from the Duviri paradox. Link number 1.
Looks like I'm your operator for now. Don't worry, they'll be fine. You want to tell me how this works?
Scanning. Indeed, you are my operator. You can help me run through the cross-check, if you like. Then we can...
annihilate Narber.
Find the Lotus. Warframe vitals strong. Warming up nicely. I've taken the liberty of rebuilding the paracesis. Surprising, but your transference signal is clear. This might be an odd sensation for you.
Can't be harder than riding a horse, can it?
Can't be harder than riding a horse, can it? Another link to the Duviri paradox, riding that weird Orcan robo-horse. And then there's this.
Gravimetrics are chaotic. At current rate, this railjack...
And yes, I don't have generic unlocked, so I brought energy drops just in case.
That thing appears to be eating the sun.
Should have stayed in Duviri.
Should have stayed in Duviri. Link number 3 to that, right? So we're all on the same page with the Duviri paradox is definitely linked in all this, without question. So where do we go from here, right? Well, that's a big one right there, the Duviri paradox. Because obviously the guy in the Duviri paradox has now been answered as exactly who he is. Yes, he's Tenno, Zariman 10-0 kid that's now grown up and turned into the Drifter. The New War answered that question, but how deep does that story go? How deep do the Narmers go for that answer? Because the Narmers were like, you know, almost like an Egyptian brainwashed culture, and Ballas was like the pharaoh of the group, the golden gilded pharaoh. If I remember right, actually Narmer was in the Egyptian as linking everyone together, if I remember right. I have to look that up, actually. I believe so. I think there's an Egyptian link to that, though. But anyway, so my thought is, We've got the Deviri Paradox. We've got the Narmers hanging out. Are they just going to be some new faction because they list in the Codex as a new faction now? So they're just going to be some annoyance that's just going to be expanded across the system here and there? I'm going to guess that that's probably the case. Maybe there's going to be a smaller quest up ahead that's going to, you know, be unveil the rest of the system to keep the, you know, to eventually quash the Narmers. Maybe they're just here to stay. Who knows? But they're literally just Corpus, and they're, you know, Grineer, and even some regular humans that are just veiled, and now they're Narmer. Either way, it's an interesting plot hole that needs to be, you know, kind of looked into and answered, right? But the other absolutely massive plot hole is the man in the wall. Now, this is what got me, and I had to do a lot of audio fucking about to really, like, through my editor, to really hear what the hell this asshole was saying, and it was really garbled, and it took me probably 2 hours to figure out what the fuck he was saying. Because it's just like big, deep, slow, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. But once I realized what he was saying, it became quite interesting. But there's something else that I completely missed through 2 gameplay throughs, editing, and then while I was going back to just verify the video was right, I noticed something. It was so fucking interesting. So, I'm going to go to this. Again, camera's going to be open, mic's going to be on, you may hear me talking. So here we have the literal man in the wall, right? I didn't notice this through 2 gameplay throughs and having to edit because my computer had a little tiny hiccup. That was my fault, but so I had to edit in the final fight scene with Nata all the way through Palace. I had to do a little clip, which I'm sure people noticed. Anybody want to tell me why his finger's fucking missing? And what that appears to look like as far as our reliquary drive on our railjack, how that connection exists? That's something in itself. Motherfucker's finger is gone. Big ass, grayish, white looking, marble looking finger, which is what we see in our reliquary drive from time to time. And we hear the whole, "Hey kiddo." But you hear the slow words that he's saying there, and it took me a hot fucking minute to figure out what he was saying. I can't begin to tell you how much I did fucking about with this thing, trying to figure out what the hell he was saying, because it was bugging me. What he was saying were the requiems. And yes, I had to screenshot and stack these bitches. He's saying Ul, Risk, Zata, Vom, Kra, and Lok. Each one of these has a description. The description, I mean, is this foreshadowing? I don't know. Is it just a poem to be read? I don't know. Is it reading of the past? I don't know. But the description basically reads out through through endless faces, countless forms, a multitude unfolds. And luminous space, blackened stars that gaze, accuse, deny. Its heralds are the stars it fells. The sky and the earth flame. To cosmic madness laws submit. Through the stalwart winds, through the stalwart minds entreat. To cosmic forms from tangent plants, we end as we began. From brooding gulfs we are beheld by that which bears no name. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to play like I know exactly what the fuck that means. I'm sure somebody else probably does. Personally, I'm kind of like, what the hell, right? But see, then we have an entirely different sequence, which I don't know why it's not there, actually. Is that it? Hold on, I just need to look at this. Bear with me on that. Sorry about that. That was a goof. This has got to be it. Bear with if there's noise. This is also going to be directly from my, as you can see, it's New Year's Eve. Late New Year's Eve at that. Yeah. Man in the wall sequence with the operator.
Hey, lose your light? Here, you can take mine. Thanks, kiddo. I think I will. Time's up, kiddo. I can save them. All of them. But you have to want it. Let's say we shake on it.
See, the man in the wall, man, it's like he gave the Zimmerman kids the void power. He said, see the shiny hand, touch the shiny hand. It's the good. This covers possibly why the Drifter doesn't have powers, but the Tenno do. Because maybe the Drifter is a Zimmerman 10-0 kid who didn't make the decision to shake the hand. Maybe this foreshadowing of the man in the wall was an offer given to bestow powers upon these kids. And then, you know, in one choice, they make it, they get the powers, they become the Tenno. In the other, they don't make the choice to shake the shiny hand, they don't get the Tenno powers. And all of a sudden, you've got the Drifter stuck on the fucking Zimmerman 10-0 somewhere in the middle of the void. Basically banked right up to Deviri. There's so much story to go here, okay? I mean, like, in my opinion, I think that there's so much story to go. The frustration lies in how long is it going to take, right? That's the big fucking frustration. How long is this going to take to get there, man? I get it. I empathize with this, okay? I really do. I really do. I think the level of story that is yet to come is very cool. But where players are frustrated is now, well, it took this fucking long to get the new war. How long do we have to wait to go? I do understand the point. I really do. As much as I'd love to say this game is perfect, there is no such thing as a perfect game. Every game has problems. I think COVID had a big hiccup to do with this, but I think COVID was also, you know, because I mean, COVID kept people from being able to go to work, right? So not being able to work in the studio means that now you've got to do everything to the cloud, which, you know, I mean, you're talking about transferring data from one location to another for animators and for, you know, for everything involved with the gaming. So it slows the process down. So COVID certainly did not help this situation. But this was supposed to release pre-COVID. Hence the frustration. You know, bare minimum, there was talk that it could release as late as December 2020. Didn't happen. Frustrations built with seasoned veteran players that have got a shit ton of time wrapped up in this game. And the thing of it is that this game is so fucking good. For a free-to-play platform, this game is insanely good. With a great story behind it, but it's starting to rub some players wrong. Now, with it being a free-to-play game, you're going to have seasoned, long-time veteran players. I will be one of those. Unless this platform just dies and turns off, I will continue to play this game because I like helping people. I really do. I think that in itself is fun. I like helping people, you know, figure out builds that work for their gameplay, not just looking at, oh, well, you can build this way and that way and this way and that way. Because yes, there's tutorials to do that. There's people on YouTube to do that. But I like kind of talking with people and walking through and seeing their gameplay and then kind of helping them on what fits them. Not just this roundabout, you know, overframe. Here, build this way. This will work perfect. You won't ever die. Well, that's what if that doesn't fit somebody's gameplay? They're going to die a lot, waste a bunch of form, and get pissed off. I like helping people. That's what I like to do. So for me, this is a wall to hit, yes, but I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait for a while. I've got time. Some people don't. Hence their frustration, and I do understand. It's the newer content creators compared to old content creators too. I've seen a lot of that going on. Older content creators are frustrated, angry, even at the point of calling out Digital Extremes for not being more Johnny on the spot about this. And I get it. I'm not saying anybody's name on it. I'm not even trying to start no damn drama, because this isn't any kind of drama whatsoever. They're not speaking incorrectly. They're not. They're speaking from their point of view on their experience and what their viewers are telling them, which is frustration and, you know, angst, because so many people see what this game is capable of doing, yet there's delays, there's problems, there's no answers, no realistic answers. It's a bit of a hiccup. But at the same time, like for me, again, I've had that more fluid experience because I'm that newer fourth generation kind of player in this game. And for me, this has been amazing. But it's a completely different stance because I haven't been playing the game as long. But it's been fluid. It's been ever flowing. One minor delay, hiccup in the game for me as far as the new war itself. But I had plenty of other shit to do. I had weapons to go farm, and I had frames to go farm. I had the entire helmet system to go refarm every single frame in the game. I mean, I had all this crap to do in the middle to fill up the time for me. Other people had already done that. So it's like, I see both sides of the argument. I see the fluid side to where everything seems great and beautiful and lovely, and man, we can't wait for the next bit of content. But then knowing and talking to older players that have been in this game for years, longer than me anyway, and seeing content creators that are founders, for Christ's sake, and even they are kicking back going, what the hell? Where's this shit at? We want more right now. We've already waited. Now we want everything right now, right now, right now, right now. We want a more fluid situation. The newer players are getting a fluid situation. Why can't we get that as well? We've already waited long enough. There's things to see on both sides of it, so I do understand it. You know, and speaking of the content creator thing, I'm going to say this. I've never had much drive to really build this channel off of just, aside from me being goofy and playing and you know, good gameplay, bad gameplay, whatever you might want to call it. I think some is good, some is bad, some's right in there in the middle, but I have fun regardless. Would I love to be a content creator for Digital Extremes? Absolutely I would. For this game, yes, 100%. To do that, I have to have 1,000 subscribers. And you'll notice that even though this is something that I would love to do, you don't hear me starting videos saying, hey folks, this is Goat, welcome to Warframe. If you like the video, if you want to see more content, hit like and subscribe to the channel. You don't hear me saying that. I'm not sitting here doing this plug and play shit. I prefer that my content stand on its own merit. If it's liked, it's liked. If it's enough to merit me a possibility of becoming a content creator for them, not for money either. And I'm going to explain that, okay? I'm on disability, okay? I'm retired, I'm disabled, it is what it is. So I don't want their money. I really don't. For me, it's the access. It's the potential access to kind of get a better idea of what's coming. But also to really prove that my passion is worth it to myself. By a little validation of somebody else seeing, you know, from the game saying, hey, you know what, we see it, dude. And maybe my personality doesn't fit what they want. God only knows. But I would much rather that my content just stand on its own. People see it for what it is. If it's good enough to merit me the chance, then that's great. But I'm not ever you're not going to hear me ask for you to like videos. You're not going to hear me ask for you to subscribe to the channel. Never, or you're just not going to hear that shit. I will ask you to leave comments. You don't have to, but I'll ask it. But I guess in closing, is Warframe dead? No. Is it dying? No. is there a potential massive sea change of generational swap from veteran players fed up with the walls that they keep running into and just finally throwing in the towel, but newer players not? Yeah, it's possible. And I think if the developers don't see that, they may be in for a very rude awakening, because there are other games out there. And truth be told, if you're one of those players that literally plays this all the time, only this game all the time, step away. Become a part-timer for a while. Let more content release and then go farm that content. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to live and breathe Warframe. You don't. Because you can come back and fall in love with it again. And then step away again. It's a kind of a good love-hate thing. You hit the wall, step the fuck away. Play something else you're enjoying. There's plenty of good games out there. I think this is a really, really, really good gem of a game. There's so much just amazing things with this game, so much potential with this game, but there's also so much potential to be squandered with this game, and that's what troubles me just a little bit, is that it's like Warframe, it's like Digital Extremes caters almost solely, aside from things like the Riven mod, the Riven system, and the helmet, the helmet segment and invigorations and things like that. Those are like the little want some candy? Here's a little freebie for you for the veteran guys. But it's almost like Digital Extremes doesn't really feel like catering to those who have supported them the most. And that's not saying me, that's saying players before me. It doesn't feel like necessarily that the devs are really catering to the people that have helped create this game into really what it is, to make its base. Like, the veteran players are the foundation of this game. They're the ones who have initially always spread the word. The veteran, content creators that survived the purge and then came back. These are all the people that have really truly built the fan base that have gone to this game and are now almost feeling snubbed on it. So, I don't know, man. I mean, do I see their frustration? Yes, because I haven't lived that frustration, but I'm about to. Right? But for me, it's not frustration. I'll just find shit to do. I can always just go run any mission type that I want with any public match that I want at any time. I can go farm extra mods and sell them on the market. It doesn't matter to me. It's something to do for me because I'm retired. I have the time. Not everybody has that time. And the people that actually are part-time players have probably got it the best, in my opinion, because they get to come and go and come and go and come and go as content releases and play only a little here, a little there. So they're always playing catch up to what's going on. Fluid experience. Part-time play really benefits into fluid experience in the game. So, I don't know. To end it all, is it dying? No. Is it dead? No. Is there a lot of questions to be answered off of the new War Quest? Absolutely. But that's what makes a good story. And I like a good story. It leaves me wanting to wait for more because I think this is such an intriguing story to get into. With all of that brain-melting information, I just want to thank you very much for watching this. And as always, folks, I'll catch you in the next one, all right?